everyone, thanks so much for coming through to this video. Today we are going to draw these cute little Christmas stockings hanging over a fire. You can see the picture over on the left there, so you know what we're copying. If you wanted to draw this yourself before we got started painting, there are step-by-step sheets available to download and print, or there is a traceable which you can print as well. Those are available if you join my channel. It's only $2.99 a month, and for that you get all of the previous traceables and printables, plus all the upcoming ones, and plus bonus videos. So it's a very low fee and you get quite a lot for it. So what I suggest you do is watch all the way through. We're going to paint this in acrylics, and once you've watched it all the way through, come back to the beginning, get yourself ready, and then you know exactly what's coming and you can stop and start the video as you wish. I already have some paints out from sorry, I just banged the mic. I already have some paints out from before, so I've got mainly my primary colours out, black and white, and yeah, that's about it. It's a fleshy colour there because I had a face, did Santa's face, and I tend to mix all my colours from that. So you only really need the primary colours. I'm also using student grade paint. Sorry, I do suffer with brain fog and I can't always remember words, so bear with me. Yeah, so I've got student grade paints. You can see what can be done with them. Quite a lot can be done, and yeah, it's good fun. Right, so all I want to do now is block in some main colour. So for the wall in the background, I'm going to go for a mid-grey, because if we get all the mid-tones down, we can then work from there, adding darks and lights to finish the painting off. So I'm just going to do sort of grey bricks to start with. We might brown them up, we might keep them as grey. I haven't decided yet. Don't worry if you go over anything. At the end of the day, you could just go across and do your bricks in one, and we can go over the stockings anyway, but I'm choosing not to bother. So I'm just going in where it's needed. So it's kind of a mid-grey, and then I can decide what I want to do with it. What I want to do with it later. Okay, so we've got the wall in. Our first layer done. Now, well, not the whole layer, obviously. I need a bit of a brown, and browns are made basically by mixing all of the primaries. So I'm going to do that now. Get a nice mucky brown. You can't see me doing that, but just get a roughly equal amount of red, blue and yellow. That should give you a brown, and then you can maybe add whites to lighten it a bit. You can see where you're at, and you can always adjust the amounts of the colours you've put in to whether you want a reddy brown or a greenier brown. Yeah, so just play around with mixing all the primaries, adding white to see what browns you can make. Right, so I've got about a mid brown, and I'm coming in, and this was literally just mixed with all my primary colours. Now don't forget, oh, I'm using an angle brush, by the way, so don't forget, I was going to say to use the edge of the angle brush to help you. Now I am painting over everything now because I just want to have that nice long straight edge. Get some more water. With acrylics, you'll find that the paints are sticky if you don't have enough water. So I'm just going to come across those stockings. I know they're there. We can come over them again in a minute. So I'm using acrylic paper from a company called Frisk, F-R-I-S-K. And yeah, I absolutely love them for practice art and for doing these tutorials. They're a really great value, and they do the job. They do the job just fine. I probably wouldn't use them if I was doing artwork to sell, but for practicing on and for doing these tutorials and for creating artwork just for my sketchbook, they're absolutely fine. Okay, so now I want to come in and behind the fireplace, and that is going to be grey as well, I think. So let's bring that round to the edge. I've got the other edge over there, so let's bring that round and down as well. Now I am going to fill it all in down to, I would say, just below the booties, because we can come over that with our flames afterwards. So just bring your grey in. Remember, don't worry about going over the booties. We could just go over them a bit. I'm not going to waste my paint by going all over them, but I can go over the edges like that, and then when we paint the stockings over the top, we will be able to see there we are. Get some more water on my brush, it's getting a bit sticky. And now I'm going to come below with the grey, feed that up so it is all over the fireplace, and then that will also be our background. Good. Now I do want to come in again with this other grey where the wall was. We need to bring that round as well now if we're going to have the grey wall. The grey wall is going to be a bit darker. Okay, perfect. Now I am going to come in with, oh, by the way, I have punched holes in mine because I put them in my sketchbook afterwards, which I put together myself, and I build it up because I don't want one sketchbook that you buy that's got one type of paper in, so I can put any kind of paper in there. So it's all mixed in there, watercolours, sketches, acrylic. Right, so now I want to dry that, I think. Let's dry what we've got so far so there's no smudging of colours. You can use a hairdryer, anything you want. Right, I'm going to go in with some red for one of the stockings because it's a nice Christmassy colour. I'm not really changing the colour, I want it to be red, so I'm keeping it red. For now, this is going to be what I call our mid-range red. We'll make a darker red to give it some shadows, and we'll make a lighter colour to put in the highlights. Oh, there's a bit of lump on there then. I do like using angle brushes for painting. I just like the feel of it, and I like how I can get my nice straight edges, but then also fill in as well. But you know, brush choice, it's up to you. You can have a round, whatever you feel like is easiest for you. And here I am, I'm twisting my hand and the brush, and really I should be moving my paper around. So yeah, if you need to move it, move it. So I'm just going around, I'm trying to keep it tidy-ish. I want to keep the shape of my stocking, and this is just a first coat, remember, so don't worry too much. We'll be coming back and doing more layers. Okay, so now we've done a red stocking, let's do a green one. Just get my rag off the floor. I like to have a rag on my lap. I know you can't see today, I normally record myself, but I just don't feel like it today. I don't feel like being on camera. Right, let's go for green. There we go. And down, and come around. There we go. I'm going to turn my paper so I can get right into that corner. So if you do have a go at this, let me know in the comments how you got on, how you changed it. You know, this is just basically an idea, and you can adapt it. You can change the stockings. You can do whatever you want to them. You can change the background. Let's go for, I might do this one orange. So I'm just going to take some red and yellow, mix myself an orange up. Just adjust the amounts of red and yellow you're putting in, depending on whether you want it a reddy orange or a yellowy orange or right in the middle. Mine is probably about right in the middle, which is what I want, because then I will come back and add in lights and darks afterwards. Now our first coat will be streaky, it will have all those brush marks in, but they will go eventually. Once we do the whole thing, they will go. But I would say brush in the direction your object, whatever you're painting, would be going in. So I'm trying to keep that motion of the sock coming sort of down to the bottom, even though it's not a sock, it's a stocking. Right, okay. So it's December the 1st tomorrow. Are you in a Christmassy mood, everyone? I don't think I'm ever in a Christmassy mood. I'm not bar humbug, but I just never seem to get into that mood. Right, I am going to come in with some light grey. It's a funny time of year, isn't it? I mean, it is happy for all the kids and everything, but I know there's a lot of people, there's loss, particularly as you get older and you miss people. Right. So I'm coming in again, although we know the stocking tops are supposed to be white, I want to have something to put the white onto. You need to have put something darker down for the white to actually make any sense, because white on white, it just won't make any sense. And you don't want to just leave the white that was there. I mean, I painted over mine anyway, so and at the moment they will be sinking into the background a bit, because the back wall here is grey as well. Don't worry about that too much, because as I say, we'll be making these stick out a bit more with highlights and things like that. Okay, there we are. And I am going to stick, I think, to traditional black paint for the bottom top of the sock. Now this is, like I said, it's student grade black, so it's not as pigmented. It is a bit watery, so we might have to just, all it means is we'll have to go over it a couple of times, and that's fine. As you can see, it's showing my brush streaks. But I do recommend, just for sketchbooks and things, just don't use up your best paint. If you've got professional paint, which I do have for when I'm doing my professional paintings, but the activities I do online are just fun. They're for mindfulness, for you to take a break out of life and just be creative. They're not meant to be anything to worry about or anything too tricky. So just, I recommend you just using your, getting some student grade ones, and then when you're painting, you experiment more, because you're not worried about using up expensive paint or expensive paper. If that's a tip I can give you, I think that would be the main one, is you want to be enjoying this. You want to be enjoying creativity and painting. You don't want to be worrying about every penny. Okay, so we now have heels and toes. What I think I want to do is take that slightly darker brown that I have. I'm going to mix a tiny bit of black into it to make it really dark. Remember, I mixed the brown earlier with my 3 primaries. I've now just added a bit of black. And what I'm going to do is I want to draw in the fireplace edge with this brown. Now this is what the angled brushes are great for, the lovely clean lines. So we're just filling in round where we want to have that edge. And don't worry if you've smudged it a little bit, we can come back and go around it with the grey that's underneath it anyway. Now, I don't plan these, just to let you know if you haven't seen my videos before. I make them up as I go along. Obviously, I have the drawings already because they are my drawings and they are part of my Learn to Draw series. If you go back over my other videos, I teach you how to draw as well as how to paint. But it all starts out with those drawings and then we paint them. So there's kind of a method to my tutorials. They all start with drawing tutorials and then you go on to painting. So if you want to find the drawing tutorial for this, there's a playlist that says drawings, or because this is a Christmas one, you can go to the Christmas playlist. Okay, so I don't want any more black. I think what I want to do now is do something in the background. We mustn't forget presents either. I want to now come in. I'm going to put a bit of the light and a bit of the dark on my brush, and I'm just going to come in and just put some different colours down. I am going to go through that black. It's not quite dry. Let's get it dry first. It's already looking quite nice and woody and streaky, but I want to purposefully go through and make it look woody and streaky. It's not looking woody enough for me. And we can see the paper underneath, and I don't really like that very much. So we're going to go in and we're just going to streak it up. Okay, that's nice. We could actually make another lighter brown and we'd have done that part then. Let's get a bit lighter. I'm just adding white now to the brown that I have. Sadly, I don't have another camera yet to be able to record my mixing palette, but I do hope in time that's something I can get. I mean, the more views I get, the more money I can make, and then I can start to actually fund the page properly and get everything I need, because it would be nice to do a range of paintings with different products, but I have to be careful what I'm spending on products at the moment. There we go. Sometimes it's nice to turn it upside down. So we've got some lighter browns mixed in there as well. I might just get a bit more. Just, oh, somehow I got some green in there. Kind of like it. Happy accident. Why not? Let's just have a little bit of green coming in. It's just absorbing the colour. Right. So now I want to go back over the top of the fluffy parts of these, and I am just going to come in, and I've got a mixture of the medium grey and a mixture of the dark grey on my brush, and that's what I want. I want to get these different shades in, because at the end I'm going to come round with the white and make it fluffy. Now I'm trying to make sure I've got enough of the dark to make sure I'm separating the tops of the stockings from the grey brick background. Well, that was a mouthful, the grey brick background. Right, so now I'm going to come in with a slightly darker grey and just start to put some bricks in. I don't really want to draw them in as such. I think I like the idea of just painting them in like this. I'm literally just putting them wherever I want. You can do the same. I mean, I did draw the bricks in, and oh, there's no bricks there. Just be careful you don't put it in the fireplace. That will be flames at some point soon. So I've drawn some bricks in. I don't want to leave them too obvious like that and broken up. So what I'm going to do is get the really light grey and just come over them a bit as well. You don't want them standing out like a sore thumb. We want to see that they're bricks, but we're just going to give them a slightly different colour. I mean, at the end of the day, most bricks are roughly the same colour, aren't they? And it's in between the bricks. There you go. That's better. It's in between the bricks that separates them. So what I'm going to do is go in with a dark grey and just kind of dab in some lines where there might be some bricks like that. And that then, I think that's fine. That's kind of making it look a bit more realistic. And across the bottom, of course. Let's just pick a bit more up. No. There we go. Right. That's fine. I'm not sure I've got the size of the bricks matched up on this side to that side, but we're not going to worry about that. Now, the back of the chimney area at the top, if you think about it, it's going to seem quite dark, and then it'll have all those flames in front, won't it? So I'm gonna just do the top a bit darker grey. In there. Sorry, I was just mixing some more of the darker grey. Okay, we're going to be careful as we go around the socks because we have taken the time to get a good shape of those. Okay, make sure you've got enough on your brush. If you don't have enough paint on your brush, you can't paint what you want to paint. I am terrible for that. I don't like to overload my brush, and in the process I end up just not even putting enough on. Just be really careful in between the stockings because, as I say, we have already got a nice shape on those and we don't want to take away from the shape or keep painting over them. We only really need to come down to the bottom of the sock because, I don't know actually, we'll do the whole thing. Because although we will have flames there, where they're starting from, there will be gaps between them. Okay. So just working my way around. And you can actually, if you made any mistakes on the edges of your stockings, or if you want to change the shape of them a bit, then you can use the paint to do that you're putting on now. Because it's opaque, it covers everything up really nicely. There we go. I do actually quite like to see the streaks of paint. Oh, sorry, I'm coming off the screen a bit. I'm not too worried about what it looks like at the bottom there, because the flames are going to be there. It's going to be quite hard colour to cover up thinking about it, but hey, this is the problem with making choices as you go along, but that's how I like to do it. I don't like to think I have to plan. So I am going to use the lighter grey as well now, and I'm just going to put some other streaky colours in there. I don't want it to be just like one grey. I'll just put some in. I mean, there is some there already. I did do some. There. Didn't want it to just be plain grey. Okay, so I think background wise I'm happy. Let's make a start on whitening up now, just by using the tip of the brush and just blobbing it round and making shapes with it. I mean, you can change brush at this point if you want to get some different shapes, but I'm just going to wiggle mine around. And now you can see that the white has more of an impact because we put the grey behind it. Without the grey, there would be nothing for the white to compare to. So I'm just going round really quickly, try not to think about it too much, and voila. And I am not using too much water because I do want the white to be a nice thick consistency. This is this isn't student grade, this is the Galleria, because white you really need it to be, if you want it to be standing out in the way that we do, it needs to be of a good quality. We don't want it watery. There. So we've got our fluffy stockings hanging up. Now I think what we'll do is go over the boots again, because we've got that green there, which is quite transparent green. So we want to make sure we've got a nice colour overall. I'm going to go upside down to get in there again like I did before. Again, just keep moving it round so that it feels comfortable and so that you feel like you're going to get some accuracy. Okay, so I'm much happy with that green now. It's darker, more of a mid-tone. Well, it looks dark on the screen, but it looks more mid on mine. And then we can come in with darks and lights of that colour afterwards. Let me just use a slightly bigger brush. I'm still using the angle brush. I just do love how they work and how precise you can be. So if you do have a go again, please do let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to do. Every 3 months I bring out some new drawing exercises, the step-by-steps that you can get as a member. So every 3 months, and over those 3 months I draw them all, I paint them all in different ways. I also do, I'm going to do more advanced canvas artwork, still on the same theme, but it won't be my designs, I'll be using reference photos. Right, now I'm going to come in and get some highlights done on those stockings by creating a much lighter version of that colour. So I'm just adding white to the colour I already have, and then I'm just going to come down and literally scrape some of that down like that, because you'd have, if the light's coming from in front, anything around the sides will be dark and anything in the middle will be lighter, like that. I might even make that a little bit lighter. Let's just add some more white to that. That's nice. Really, really light green. Put a bit more green in. I think it was a bit too light. There, that's nice. Just gives it a nice little highlight. And if you do it in the shape of the stocking as it's coming round, yeah. Oops, bit too much there. There's a lot of paint on my brush. That's okay. We don't want it to look perfect because at the end of the day it's fabric, isn't it? There are patterns on the actual picture, but I don't think it's necessarily needed. You could just paint them and leave them, which I might do, and then you can decorate as you want. Now I'm just putting a slightly lighter orange on there, and now I'm going to really lighten it up with lots of white and put my highlight kind of down the middle, and I'm just gently bringing that round, okay? Really, really gently. It just gives us that dimension, that value that makes it pop and makes it look a bit more real. I'm now going to go into the red. Now I want to first of all make a darker red, so all I'm doing is taking a bit of black and adding it to my red, which then gives me a nice deep kind of mauvey colour. Right, so I'll just get that off my brush. A bit clogged when you're so I just want to do some little marks there where we kind of darken it out so it doesn't look as garish as that bright red is. I mean, it's great for a base layer, but we do need to add in there, so it's made it look a bit more real. And then we'll come in with a slightly lighter version as well on top for a little highlight. So just mixing some white with that. Kind of looks pinky, which is fine. When you put white in red, it does come out pinky, because we're only doing a little highlight just down the middle. Oh, I've hardly got any paint on me there. Get a bit more paint on my brush. Hang on a minute. Right. Okay, and not sure. I think I'm gonna have to redden it up again. It's a bit too light. Ooh. Let's just do that, and then I'm just going over it with the red, so we still have the highlight there, just about, but I'm kind of just darkened it a little bit. Right. And to be honest, when you have those different colours in the stockings, it just gives them a more realistic look anyway. Okay, so I'm slanting it that way because I'm going to come in now with a dark grey on the heels and the toes. And just give it a little bit of a stroke down, just to cool down that black and give it a sense of light shining on those bits as well. Can you see? And then I'm going to dip, literally just I'm dipping the point of my brush in, and I'm just going to come round and add some proper little highlights with pure white. Okay, where the light might be hitting it. I mean, remember, these are illustrations for fun, for your sketchbooks. We're not going to worry too much. And so I'm going to come down here as well, with a little bit of white, not too much, and just gives it a bit of something, a little bit of something. Right, now I'm going to go directly into the white again, and I'm just kind of gonna dab a bit more into the tops, just to finish it off a bit until I'm happy. Make them as fluffy as you like. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put patterns on them. I don't think they're needed. I do, however, think maybe they should have some presents in them. But I don't know, I quite like them without the presents even today. If you wanted to paint them in, you could. I think I'm going to leave them off. Same with the flames. I I could put some in the background there, but I'm not sure. It might ruin it a little bit, and the yellow is going to really be quite difficult. Let's have a go. Let's just, yeah, we can get some in there maybe. Just block it in. It's quite nice that they're just a little bit translucent anyway, because you should be able to see through. Oops, I think there might be a bit too much paint. And so what we'll do is we'll come in with some yellow and some oranges and some reds and then some white to highlight. Yeah, I kind of like that with, I'm glad I did put the flames in. That's nice. Just going to pause you a moment. Get the pen. Does that mean that's paused? No, it's recording again. Sorry about that. Let's carry on. Okay, so where did we get to? We were on flames. So I'm going to come in now with some more yellow to give the effect of flames, to go over that, because as I said, with the grey being in the background, it's going to be difficult to see the flame effect. But what I'm doing is I'm putting a mixture of red and orange on there. So as I put the colours down, we get some nice strokes in there of different colours. Really, I should have painted these before the stockings, had I have thought about it. That's okay. That's fine. So now I'm going to come in with some more of the red and just wriggle in some red in there. Wriggle it in. Gives the effect of the movement. You don't want it to be straight lines. Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. And then I'm also going to add in a little bit of white. It's got paint, blue paint all over me. Right, so coming in, and we just want to put some white at the tops as well. And it just, oh, whoops. I just dabbed it in the white paint, but it picked up a big lump. You don't want that. Let's just smooth that down. It's okay though, because we can smooth it in with what's already there. Again, just try and do those wiggly strokes. We don't really want it looking too tidy because the flames will be all over the place. And I'm really just trying to wiggle in. I don't want it to be too stark white, but we do want some of that in there. Okay, let's see, we're done. Perfect. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else on there. As I say, in the picture there's presents sticking out if you wanted to do that. There's also, excuse the paint on my finger, there's also pattern on the stockings, but I just don't think they need it. I think they're fine as they are. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much. Can you please subscribe and like, comment, share, as it all helps to grow my channel. I'm still very new. You can also join the membership where you get all of my downloads to print. There's step-by-step learning to draw, and there are traceables if you're going to follow me along and paint along. Sometimes it's acrylics, watercolours, marker pens. Yeah, it varies, and you also get bonus videos on the memberships. So thanks very much everybody. Have a really good day, and I hope you get to having a go at this.